Let's continue our focus here at home on our country's porous borders now. The Lebombo border post in Komati port between South Africa and Mozambique is prone to criminal syndicates, and this has been going on for many years now. Drugs and hijacked vehicles are often smuggled through this route. eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is looking at what authorities are doing there to prevent crime at ports of entry. He's joining us now live this hour from the Lebombo border post. Good afternoon, Aviwe. I've just seen a truck passing you there on that N4. I don't know in what direction it's going, but there's a lot of tracking that happens along that route. There's another one there behind you. It's a very important route for imports and exports using Maputo Harbour. The new Border Management Authority is on the ground there as well. What have you noticed? Are things better? Are they getting a hang of things, especially in terms of handling crime that is known to take place through that border many times?
But then, as much as the operations have now been centralized to the Border Management Authority, it seems like that issue of the snaking queues of trucks is one thing that they can't get a grip on. I'm some 5 kilometers away from the actual Lebombo border post, but these trucks that you see here have been here. It's a long queue, Bradan, right up to the actual border post itself. In fact, I want to have a conversation with some of the truck drivers and a controller just to get a sense of what time they arrived here and how frustrating is the situation on the ground. I'll start with Sipo Twala, one of the truck drivers. Sipo, thank you for joining us at eNCA. But Putwam, what time did you get here and how long will it take for you to get to the border?
I arrived in Figelana on 9 o'clock, Exeni, then Senegal to figure border by 6 or 7 in Tambama. So today, Mangana Matrak, so it might happen good if but normally, Malangeni, our manning, it can take you the whole night to cross and getting access. So now figure in Tambama, then you're getting access itself.
Okay, so you can spend almost a day here. You're telling us that today it's not that busy, but we're seeing the long queues of the trucks here. Mozambique, and how frustrating is it?
Normally, right is 3 or 4 trip, but in general, these days, I'm at Maninga Kulu. Si spend siakona kwenda 2 to 3 because like at night kuba ngonywana cause labai sebalele then so yakona ke uhamba nangabe mhlambe nanawo awubalali. So
okay, so normally Bradan they do about 3-4 trips on a week, but now that has been cut almost in half, doing at least 2 trips because of the long queues that they face. I'm going to bring in one of the truck controllers here, Simon Marere. Simon, thank you for joining us at eNCA, but maybe what can be done to assist this issue of the trucks here?
I think what needs to be done is they need to improve on the system which they are using at the border. Yeah, that's where we are having a challenge because sometimes, just like right now, I can tell you, majority of the trucks that are here, especially the trucks that I'm taking charge of, they all have got their documents. They all have received their papers. Everything is in order. So what's stopping us is just that they should get to the border and then be able to cross. So we think something has to be done there by the border, which we actually, I think, yeah.
So you say all the trucks here have the required documentation. Where is the challenge then? You mentioned this at the border. Maybe what's happening there and what lessons can the border authority itself take maybe from other places?
Not necessarily all, but I think almost, I can just say maybe around 70% of the trucks, they do have their papers. Like as I said, that my trucks, the one that I'm checking here, they do have their papers, but they're still on the line. So I think if they can maybe try to improve the systems, because when we check even in other countries or other continents, their trucks don't get to stand long like this on the borders. So maybe they can send people to go and learn what they do maybe in Europe or in whatever other continents and then try to bring it here and see how best can we improve the situation here.
Lessons from other countries maybe is a suggestion that you're giving us, but what challenges are the truck drivers facing here aside from the authorities? You mentioned earlier there were issues with taxis.
Yes, for with taxis also when you try to bypass the queue, because sometimes some of them they get fatigued and then they end up sleeping or stopping. then one maybe is not fatigued, you want to bypass and then just proceed. If they catch you doing that, then they will deflate your tires and then, So those are the other challenges. So they are forced now to be to be touring the line. And sometimes it's risky because there is no security. So you have to maybe go out, get outside the track, then go and wake up the next driver, then so that you can proceed together. Yeah, that's what the other challenges. And also there is no food. Now we are getting into October, closer to the temperatures are getting warm and warm. I'm sure most of them will suffer from dehydration and whatever. So there are other things that will happen which are associated with that.
Okay. Dehydration from being in these long snaking queues. Bradan, we're some 5 kilometers away from the border, and I was told earlier on by one of the authorities here that in fact today is not that busy. On a busy day, you can expect this queue to stretch some 32 to 35 kilometers. And of course, as you heard here from the truck drivers, it takes more than a day on those busy days to get through the border post. As you've heard that in the majority of the trucks here have the required documentation, but it seems like the systems that are used at the border are the ones that are slowing down. These trucks in the majority carrying chrome and coal all the way to Mozambique. I'm told at least on those busy days, we expect about 1,800 to at least 2,200 trucks to try to make their way to the Lebombo border post.
Yeah, Aviwe Mtila, I can tell you it's your lucky day that you're only 5 kilometers from the border. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, I went through that border. I saw trucks 10 Ks away from the border still queuing up. I think there's a difference with the immigration, which is just your passports and stuff, and customs in terms of the goods that are going through. Part of the immigration process is paperless now on both sides. You just get your passport stamped, your vehicle papers. You no longer need that kind of manual work. They just need to do that for the trucking business as well. That will smooth things quite dramatically. Thank you very much, Aviwe Mtila, there, about 5 Ks near the border, Lebombo border. That's near Komati Port in Mpumalanga, as we continue our focus there today here on eNCA about what's happening with our border management, our porous borders, which we need, of course, for the movements of goods and people and trade and all of that, but also they are a source of big headaches when it comes to crime syndicates using them for hijacked vehicles and also for people who are coming into the country illegally. You're watching